Hello everybody. In this video I want to talk about the solutions for homework from March 30th to April 3rd, the week before the Easter holidays. I was holding on to hope that we could talk about those in class together, but as it seems we're not going to see each other for maybe another 2 weeks. So let's talk about that. We're starting with a new topic. After we've finished with Nigeria, we're going to start with the topic Utopia Dystopia. And you had the job of working on pages 180 to 181, exercises 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 written in detail. So let's have a look. Utopia, Science and Utopia, Utopia Dystopia. This is our topic. This book covers parts of it, as it is mostly conceptuated for a basic course, not an advanced course as you are. So, science and utopia dystopia. What is a utopia? What is a dystopia? Utopia from the Greek means a place that is perfect. Basically, it's the Garden Eden was a utopia where there's abundance of everything. There's no want for nothing, and dystopia, the opposite of it, a place that is dystopian, that where you have where there's absolute poverty, violence, brutality, and so on. The movie covers will talk about some of those. So let's have a look. Your first task was to do the quiz above, then choose one or two of the inventions and discoveries mentioned and discuss the impact they had on people's lives. So, the quiz. From ancient to early modern times, when were these inventions made? Invention 1, compass for maritime navigation. Well, maritime navigation is not that old. The compass itself is not that old. I would say somewhere. It's a good question. 1712. No, James Watt does the steam engine. By the Chinese, maybe. Improved movable type of printing technology, Gutenberg press, 1450. The wheel, for around 4000 BC, unknown by whom. That's a very old invention. First commercial steam engine, Newcomb, and then James Watt. And gunpowder, also by the Chinese. So the first and the last one was invented by the Chinese. When exactly is a good question. Great scientists. Who made these important scientific discoveries? The Earth circle the Sun, 1543. Copernicus, is he mentioned here? Yes, B. Haha. 2. Laws of motion and gravitation. That's Newton, Sir Isaac Newton. Theory of relativity. Albert Einstein. Nuclear fission. Um, that's a good question. Um, we'll come back to that. Penicillin. I have skipped that. Fleming, Alexander Fleming. He had an accident in his laboratory. He forgot to clean one of his dishes, and there was and the bacteria was killed by a form of a fungus, and this way he found out about antibiotics. A very lucky incident. Structure of DNA. Oh, good question. And cloning of Dolly the sheep. Roslin Institute, maybe. Milestone inventions. What technological devices are associated with these famous names? Wright brothers. The Wright brothers invented the flight. So which was it? Petrol automobile. Heavier than air flying machine. This one. Active flying machine with a motor, basically. Alexander Graham Bell telephone. Yes. Röntgen. Well, you can guess about that. Röntgenmaschine, the X-ray machine. Carl Benz, the automobile. Petrol-powered automobile. Thomas Edison, light bulb. And J.R. Oppenheimer. J.R. Oppenheimer. I read his biography. He's the inventor of the atom bomb. in the Manhattan Project during World War II. So, inventions and discoveries mentioned and discussed the impact they had on people's lives. Well, telephone, we are able to speak to people far away, like I'm doing right now, basically. I'm speaking to you, although you are not here. X-ray machine helped save lives. The penicillin is suggested to have, without penicillin, we would be were the I read 1/3 of people less on the planet because penicillin is very important and antibiotics are. The light bulb saves us from breathing heavy smoke at night from candles, and we can still read at night. Carl Benz automobile brings us around, but also destroys the environment. Basically, the atomic bomb. Uh, yeah, we have now the possibility to destroy our entire planet. Yippee! So inventions are well, some inventions are good, some are not. You can with nuclear fission, you can create an atom bomb to destroy, or you can create a power plant to create energy for people. So all has good and bad things. Um, the automobile can be used can destroy the environment with its emissions, but also drive an ambulance, which brings people to the hospital quicker. So an invention in itself is not good or bad. Two, speaking, what recent inventions, 20 to 40 years, shape our life today most? Computer technology, I'd say, but well, that's something that we use all right now. But penicillin, but that's much older than that. The internet, the ability of looking up information from around the world without having to pay much for it. So access to information. You can learn a lot on YouTube without having to pay for it, and you have access to the greatest minds of the planet for free, basically. What do you think life on Earth will be like in 50 years? How will science and technology change our lives in groups of four? Create a placemat. Well, yes, you were supposed to be doing this on your own. So, this is where you tell us about your dream of the next 50 years. Will it be a utopia where there is no more want, there will be no more hunger? We will all have to work less and still have a great living standard? Is it something like that? Or is it more of these here? These are all movies that depict, well, I'd say dystopian fictions. I Am Legend with Will Smith. Maybe you've seen this. It's relatively new, I think from 2015. That describes a post-apocalyptic world. Uh, I think it's a zombie movie where there's some kind of zombie invasion. RoboCop describes a technological future where there hasn't been any destruction, but where brutality and so on increased in the environment, and the police is militarizing more and more, and one person is then transformed to a robotic cop after being fatally wounded, and the only way to save his life was to make him a part machine and man hybrid. Um, he is a good guy, and the other machine cops are not so much of a good guy. So, well, yeah, interesting that the protagonist in itself is a good man. Gattaca. Gattaca is a nice movie. I suggest you watch it. Jude Law, Uma Thurman. It's a relatively old movie from the 90s. It depicts a future in which genetic engineering uh, means that people need to the parents are faced with the choice of genetically engineering their baby, eliminating possible diseases that this baby could have, and therefore create a Ubermensch, basically a superhuman. And there are some parents who say no and who want to have a normal child. But they are discriminated against because at birth they are given a test, a genetic test, and this genetic test will say what might happen with them. So may this protagonist, he may have a heart condition at one point in his life, and that's why he is not allowed to do any kind of good job, only do menial labor. And he wants to be an astronaut, but he can't. So he fakes being a superhuman by having another superhuman donating blood for him and so on, and he has to completely fake his whole life and avoid detection of that he's just a normal person, and he has to avoid detection every day and try to, well, escape the police, basically. So this is a clear dystopian fiction. The last one here is 1984. It was a novel that described a dystopian society. This is the most dystopian society that I've ever seen. I can suggest you read the book. It depicts changes in language, even so that the people are forced to change their language and um, live in this very brutal society where even the thought of not wanting to be in this society is criminal, and random uh, people are picked off the street and assassinated and executed if they do anything that is not allowed. So this is a very, very harsh depiction of the future that was written for 1984. This book is older than 1984. Thank God it has not come up. What information on the setting, action? So we've talked about 3. 4. Use one of these DVD covers as inspiration to write the beginning of a science fiction story. So I haven't read your results yet. I'm looking forward to it. This is more of a creative task, beginning of a science fiction story. So writing your own text is also a good thing, that a task that sometimes comes up in a task 3 of an exam. So a good way to prepare for it. Well, I'm looking forward to reading it, and I hope that you're also interested in this topic. And we're going to first talk about Utopia Dystopia, and then we will add genetic engineering into the mix. So Gattaca, for example, is a good movie to watch as an introduction for it. Just maybe it's on Netflix, I don't know. Maybe you find it. Yeah, I hope to see you soon, and have a nice day. Bye.